All right, so we're about to take a tour of the Adapted Athletics facility. This facility was designed specifically for the Adapted Athletics program at the University of Alabama. We're going to show you a couple of examples of things that if you are designing a facility or trying to improve your facility, things that we took into consideration and have done in our facility to make sure that every transition, every opportunity, and every moment that our kids are in here, they're able to optimize their time and not have to worry about things they shouldn't have to worry about. So we'll start with the entry to the building. So our entrance to the building has two automatic doors. Our athletes can come in and out without ever having to worry about coming through a door or anything like that. Another good addition to this is there is no elevation change in the thresholds. And so it is a straight push all the way out from the parking lot across the sidewalk and into our building. That is also a theme that is carried throughout the building. So there really is no level changes, no elevation that our athletes have to worry about the entire time that they're in our building. So our next stop will be in the restroom, in the restroom area. So the first thing you'll notice when you come in, there's a lot of space as you're coming into this area. Our stalls are designed to have a lot of handrails in there to make sure that it is accessible and that the individual utilizing that space has the tools that they need to handle their business there. We also made an adjustment, so our stalls are actually, they're all handicap stalls, so individuals can use that. A lot of space in there, a lot of ability to move around, but then also all of our doors open out. Okay, so if you do have a stall that is not necessarily a handicap stall, the door still opens out so that individual can access that, whereas if it opened in, it would kind of cut down on the space to a point where that individual couldn't utilize that space. Our sinks are also at a height that from a seated position, you can still make sure you're washing your hands effectively and reach everything that you would need to. There's also extra clearance under the sink so that that seated athlete, their chair and lower extremity can go under there so that they're in a comfortable position when working in that space. And then we also have a shower in here. Again, that shower has plenty of space there so that you can push in. There's also a shower chair already installed in that area that folds up into the wall so that the individual that's standing can utilize that space, and then someone who's in a seated position or needs that extra stability can fold that down, transfer straight over to that and utilize that. There's, again, ample handrails in there. The shower head is also adjustable so it can slide up and down. You can adjust the height to make sure that it's in a position where you can access it readily and not have any issues there. So now we're in the locker room. We're going to talk about a couple of the additions that we added here to make sure that, again, our athletes' time here is efficient as it can possibly be and they can really maximize their space and their time here. So in the locker room area, you will see that there is a shelving area for them where they can work on things. It's a height where from a seated position, again, they can utilize that entire space. They don't have to worry about not being able to reach anything. There's also chair storage under the bottom half of the locker room. In that chair storage area, there's hooks on either side that they can hang extra wheels, rims, things like that. And then there's also a very slight threshold there under the bottom of that locker to make sure that when their chair is in that storage position, it will not roll out into the floor, right? So that kind of keeps the chair in place to make sure it stays clean and neatly tucked away. So now we're in the wheelchair maintenance area. This is an area where our athletes can perform regular maintenance on their chair. We obviously have to really contact sports and basketball, and then just regular maintenance with our tennis chairs. So you can obviously see there is a lot of storage in this area to make sure that everything is squared away in an organized fashion. But then also the work areas that are in here, the tables that we have are adjustable in height. That way the individual can kind of tailor fit that to them and make sure that it is optimal height for them to work on their things. So now we're going to check out just a storage aspect of our facility. So we knew coming into this building that we were going to have a lot of overflow and a lot of extra chairs. And so to make sure that we were maximizing as much storage as we could and not taking up a ton of floor space, we utilized this hook system to make sure that we can keep chairs kind of in an organized fashion and off of the floor. Just one thing to consider when training and working with this population, that there is additional equipment, especially in a sports setting. And so making sure you're maximizing the way that you're storing that and taking up as little space as possible is something to really keep on your mind. Now we're in the weight room. We're just going to talk about a couple of modifications that were made when we were designing this space to make sure that we can, again, maximize our time here and make everything as efficient as we possibly can. The first thing I would note is that our benches that we use are a little bit wider. That's going to provide us with a little bit more surface area and contact area for our athletes, which is going to help with stability. In addition to that, we use sled belts right? We take the sled wheel and circle the athlete and the bench. That'll again provide them with another point of contact and increase that stability. And then finally, we also have a para powerlifting bench. For some of our individuals, elevating their lower extremity, having that on a flat surface similar to a floor press really increases their stability, makes them feel more comfortable under the barbell. And this was a great addition for that because it doesn't limit range of motion like a floor press would. They can still execute that movement through a full range of motion while also feeling extremely stable. We're now upstairs in the mezzanine. This is a viewpoint where people can watch games and watch practice on a daily basis, and we really made sure that we considered everyone when we were designing this space as well. So if you'll notice right here, when looking out over into the court, we made sure that there's a low profile there so that you could see over that, or if you sit further back, you can see through the top glass portion. However, you'll notice that that glass portion stops about a quarter of the way through, and then it's wires to the bottom portion. That is to make sure that we're not scuffing up glass, but we still have that clear line of sight, clear vision onto the court.